Buying a screen protector can get surprisingly confusing. You go online looking for a simple piece of glass and suddenly you see terms like privacy glass, hydrogel, blue light filtering or anti-reflective, and every single one claims to be the best. But honestly, do these terms even matter? And can a screen protector really do more than just stop your phone from scratching or cracking? In this video I break down the different types of screen protectors, what they actually do, which features really matter, and what you should avoid or look for before buying one. Well, at its core, a screen protector is basically a protective layer that takes damage so your real screen doesn't have to. But yes, the type and quality actually do matter. A good screen protector can improve things like impact protection, visibility, fingerprint resistance, and even how your phone feels to use every day. And avoiding damages is not just about broken screens anymore. Modern screen protectors can also help with scratches, glare, daily wear, stylus use, and outdoor visibility. That's why the market became so large in the first place. Different protectors are built around different priorities. Some focus on drop protection, others focus on display clarity, privacy, smoother touch, or drawing feel. But also every unique screen protector is a trade-off. Improving one thing usually means sacrificing something else. One protector might feel smoother but reduce clarity. Another may improve privacy but darken the display. Another may fit curved screens better but offer weaker impact protection. But even with all these different categories now, one type still became the standard for most people: tempered glass. And once you understand why, the rest of the market starts making a lot more sense. Tempered glass became the standard because it's the most balanced option for most people. It protects the screen well without changing how the phone feels too much. Compared to softer plastic films, tempered glass still feels smooth, clear, bright and responsive. Your phone still feels like glass, not rubbery or blurry. And for most people, that balance is exactly what they want. Tempered glass is chemically strengthened glass designed to absorb force better than normal glass. The important idea here is impact absorption. When your phone drops, the protector spreads part of the force and breaks first, so the real display hopefully doesn't. And it also avoids scratches. To measure scratch resistance, the Mohs scale is commonly used. This scale goes from 1 to 10. The idea is simple. Materials with a higher number can scratch materials with a lower number, but not the other way around. Here are some examples to visualize that. Standard tempered glass usually ranks between 5.5 and 7 on the Mohs scale, while some premium glass can reach closer to 8 or 9, like ESR's Corning certified glass. And for context, Corning's the company behind Gorilla Glass used in many flagship phones like the iPhone 16 Pro and Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. And all that leads to a very interesting point. Keys, for example, in your pocket don't scratch your phone. Sand does. Tiny quartz particles are one of the biggest causes of micro scratches, and that's why it's the standard go-to. But you can also take one step further and start noticing that not all tempered glass feel the same. There can be a big difference in quality. Premium protectors usually improve touch smoothness, fingerprint resistance, coating quality, edge finishing, installation quality, and impact reliability. Cheap protectors often feel rougher, collect fingerprints faster, and wear down much sooner. A great detail to look for is an oleophobic coating. Oleo means oil and phobic means repelling. It's the coating that helps resist fingerprints and grease. Without it, screens can feel sticky and become harder to clean. Better coatings make swiping smoother and keep glass feeling clean longer. Cheaper coatings wear off faster from friction, heat and repeated cleaning. Installation quality also became much more important over time. Almost everyone has to deal with dust, bubbles, crooked alignment or lifting corners. So even good protectors can feel cheap if the installation goes badly. That's why companies started focusing more on installation systems. ESR's Ultra Fit trays are a good example. They use alignment frames and dust removal tabs to make installation easier and more consistent for normal users. But even with all these improvements, tempered glass still has its trade-offs. It's the best balanced general purpose option for most people, but it can still reflect light, crack visibly, and struggle on curved displays. So let's talk about the other options. Once you move beyond standard tempered glass, screen protectors become much more specialized. Instead of trying to be good at everything, different types focus on solving specific problems. Privacy protectors are a good example. They use tiny layered structures called micro louvers, basically lines inside the protector that work a bit like window blinds. From straight ahead, the screen looks normal, but from the side, it starts getting darker. They're great for trains, cafes, offices, or public spaces where you don't want people reading your screen. The trade-off here is brightness and clarity. Then you have matte protectors, which focus more on the feel than perfect sharpness. Matte films reduce reflections, fingerprints and oils, giving the screen a smoother and drier texture that many heavy phone users and gamers really like. But the image also becomes a bit softer and slightly grainier. And to be honest, this category is very personal. Some people love the feeling immediately, others hate losing display sharpness. Paper-like films are built mostly for stylus users. They add texture to create more friction, making writing and drawing feel closer to paper instead of slippery glass. For artists and note takers, this can make a huge difference. But the trade-offs are softer image quality, more visible texture and faster styling stylus tip wear because of the extra friction. Hydrogel films go into another direction completely. They're usually made from TPU, a flexible plastic material designed for bending and adaptability. That flexibility helps hydrogel films fit curved phones and foldables in general much better than rigid glass. Some even have self-healing properties where small scratches fade over time. But those usually prioritize flexibility and scratch resistance over strong impact protection. They also don't feel as premium as tempered glass. Then there are blue light filtering protectors. The trade-off here is brightness and clarity, but this category is often misunderstood. For context of how it works, light exists on a spectrum. On one side you have very short and high energy wavelength like X-rays. On the other side you have much larger wavelengths like radio waves. Visible light sits in the middle and ranges roughly from 380 to 700 nanometers. Shorter visible wavelengths are closer to blue and violet light and carry more energy. Blue light filters usually target wavelengths around 415 to 455 nanometers. The reason this matters is because blue light affects alertness and sleep cycles. Bright blue heavy light at night can interfere with melatonin production, which is why phones now include night shift or eye comfort modes. So adding a blue light screen protector works by absorbing or reflecting parts of those shorter wavelengths. That's why those blue light protectors make most sense for people who work late at night or use their phones heavily in bed. At the end, they're more about comfort and sleep than miracle eye protection. Then finally, there are anti-reflective protectors. These focus on visibility and display clarity by reducing reflective light. Reflections lower contrast and make phones harder to see outdoors, especially in bright sunlight where screens can start looking like mirrors. Anti-reflective coating helps reduce that mirror effect and makes the display look clearer and easier to read outside. The downside is cost, since the layered optical coatings are hard to manufacture. Screen protectors aren't just about preventing cracks anymore. Different protectors are optimizing completely different parts of the phone experience. But how do you now know which one is right for you? At this point, the biggest mistake people make is shopping backwards. Most people start with marketing terms first. They look for the biggest numbers, the strongest claims, the most aggressive packaging. Just whatever sounds the most premium. But honestly, the better approach is much simpler. Figure out what actually annoys you first. Because the best screen protector depends almost entirely on what you care about most in daily use. If fingerprints constantly bother you, you probably care more about coatings and surface feel. If you work outdoors a lot, reflection and visibility suddenly make much more sense. If you use a stylus every day, drawing feel becomes much more important than maximum display sharpness. And if you're constantly dropping your phone, impact absorptions becomes a priority. So it actually makes sense to think about what screen protector you're gonna get. Now you know every screen protector is optimized for something and everyone comes with trade-offs. But once you understand those trade-offs, choosing a screen protector stops feeling random. And if you still have questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. And if you want to check out some high quality screen protectors for yourself, you can visit the ESR store using the link in the description. Thanks for watching until the very end, and I will catch you in the next one.